Hey everybody, it's me, Patty Ann, and yeah, that is me behind that mask. The mask is a little small for me. That's because it's supposed to be kid-sized, not adult or grandma-sized. Anyway, today what I'm going to show you how to do is how to make those masks, how to make stickers, and how to make stick puppets, all of which are going to go along with the book, The Rainbow Fish, as you can see right here. I'll have a link for it right now for you to watch the story with your child, and I'll also have a link at the end. Also, down below this video, I will be putting links for where you get these images that I'm using. So these are the masks. Let me show you. The stickers look like this, and the sticker paper that I use is either the white sticker paper from Silhouette or the printable vinyl paper from Cricut. And I have both of these linked down below in my Amazon store. These can be used interchangeably. You can use the Silhouette with your Cameo and vice versa. The only thing I must caution you about is do not get Cricut sticker paper. It's too thick for most people's printers. Do not buy the sticker paper. If you're getting Cricut, buy the printable vinyl Silhouette white sticker paper. So these are the stickers I'm going to show you how to make, and how to put a pretty offset on them, and how to take them over to Cricut to be cut, or cut them in your Silhouette, and obviously the masks. And then finally, these are the stick figure puppets that I'm going to show you how to do. And you can use popsicle sticks, or you and your child could even go outside in the yard and find sticks. Why not, right? And glue those to the back of the puppets. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, when you go to the link that I've provided down below, you will get some Acrobat or PDF files. So in order to use those, well, let's do the face mask first. We'll go to File, Open, and this is what they're going to look like, PDF files. I'm looking for the one that says Masks. There we are. I'll double click on that. And then look what it says. It comes up with this, since it's an Acrobat file. I'm going to change it because I want to import the image, and I want to make the image 300 dpi, dots per inch, and I don't want to bring in this piece, so I'm going to up the page number, and let's see what comes up second. Okay, there's our first fish, and that actually happens to be the rainbow fish. So I'll import that. It's going to be imported on its own page just like this. Now, for those of you who don't have a cutting machine, no problem. You can just print those out and cut them, and cut out the little eyes, maybe use a hole punch for the little holes on the fins, and you're good to go. But if you want to use your cutting machine to do this, to make it a lot quicker, all you have to do is come over here to the trace panel, select a trace area, trace around this. Once you have a pretty nice trace, I would just say trace and detach, so it's a print then cut. And then, as you know, that's going to allow me to get rid of this square here. Delete. And I should show my mat so you can see better maybe. 12 by 12. Okay, there we go. Okay, and that's the size he comes in automatically. That's the size I made, and it was perfect, and I think it will be perfect for little kids. So the other thing that I need to do, though, is to cut out the eyes, because notice they're not cut out. Now again, I could take scissors and do that, but why not have my machine do it? Easy peasy. So what I would do is just get a circle over here. This time I'm not going to hold down my shift key because I don't want it to stay a circle. I want to make an oval. But I think I might scroll in a little bit first. There we go. And with my circle tool still selected, I'm going to draw an oval. I'm just going to draw it so it goes right over top of that, stretch it out, and that looks just about perfect to me. So I like that, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate it. I can right click and say duplicate, or as you know, I could hold down my Alt key and duplicate it. And what I'm going to do is take this one and put it over this other eye. And if I have a hard time nudging it into place, I can use the arrow keys on my keyboard. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to select this one, hold down my shift key, select this eye, still holding down my shift key, I'm going to select the fish. Then I'm going to come way over here to the modify panel, open it, and simply say subtract. All right, now I want you to see what's happened when I did that. I'm going to scroll back out, and let's see, we can see how you can see through his eyes now? So that's perfect. Now I could, if I wanted to, cut out these little circles with my machine too. Just draw another circle and do the same thing. But I found it just as easy for myself to use a hole puncher. But if you want to do that, like I said, just come over to the circle tool, draw a circle, hold down your shift key if you want a circle, perfect one. Duplicate this one by holding down your alt key and dragging one over on here. Again, you can use your arrow key to nudge it into place. So that one's selected. I'll hold down my shift key and grab this one. While still holding down my shift key, I'll select the fish, come to the modify panel if it's not open, and say subtract. And that's how easy it is to do these guys. Let me scroll out. Move this guy. Okay, so here he's ready to go, just like this. Okay, even though he's ready to go, the page is not for my silhouette. So what I would need to do is to come up here to the page setup panel, come to the third button over, and put on my registration marks. And now since I've done that, I can see if I scroll in that he's going outside of the little cut line, the little red line here. If you don't see the cut line on yours, go back to the first icon here in the page setup and toggle this box off and on, show cut border. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to move him over like this so he'll fit, and he won't quite fit either way, but I know if I click on him I get this little green rotation button. When I hover over it, you'll get a arrow that goes around and around and around that lets you know that you can rotate it. And when I rotate him, I'm easily able to fix him and make him stay within those proportions. So now all I have to do is go to print, and I would look at my preview here to make sure it's all looking kosher or looking good. Then I would go to print. And of course I would change my preferences perhaps, but I'm going to cancel that because I've already done it. I'm going to go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, and I'm going to name him 7.298 because I always like to put that in the beginning when I'm changing something and going to Cricut. Put in the width, 7.298 fish. I'll just name it fish, and I'm going to change it to a JPEG. If you don't see JPEG, that's because you don't have the business edition and you'll need to purchase that. One-time purchase, link below. All right, say okay. Leave all these numbers the way they are. Let's go over to Cricut. And I was already putzing with this a little bit, so let's cancel this and go to New, Replace, Upload. Upload, Browse. 7.298 fish. There he is, coming in perfectly. I'll say complex and continue. And this time there's no offset, so we probably don't need to mess with the advanced options that we have to when we have offsets. So I'm just going to come to the select and erase and begin going around him, getting rid of the parts that I don't want, including inside his eyes and these little holes. Okay, and then I'll say continue. Looks terrific. Save. Cricut, save. Oh my gosh. Maybe it's saved because I don't know. Upload an image. Let's get it again. Open, complex, continue. So I'm just going through this again because Cricut was misbehaving. Continue. Save. What in the world? Well, anyway. Seriously. Maybe I need to quit Cricut and come back again. Let's open it again. Let's try this one more time. New project. Upload. Upload an image. Browse. That 7.298 fish. Complex. Continue. Let's click around these places to get rid of the parts that we want to cut out. Okay, fingers crossed. Continue. I'll save this. All right, that time it's saved. So insert it. And it says it's just fine to be a print then cut like this, but remember we need to change the width, because what's the width supposed to be? 7.298. And if it isn't that, it might not fit our child's face. So with the lock locked, I'm going to change this to 7.298 and hit enter. And now this thing comes up showing us that it's not going to work as a print then cut. It's too big. So what we can do here in Cricut Design Space right now is just get a shape, a square maybe, unlock it, make it longer, and we can cut this thing wherever you feel like you might like to cut it, you know. So let's see, maybe I'll cut it right there in between those two eyes. So I'll grab both of these things and just say slice, because there's just two things over here selected. I can slice. So now what we will do is do our print then cut for Cricut Design Space in two pieces just like this, and then glue them together or tape them together in the back. Okay. One other thing that's all we're going to do for today. So that's what you do. You go to make it. There's one half of it and there's the other, and you'd have to tape it together. Okay. Let's go back now to Silhouette again. I'll show you one more thing. Maybe over here in Silhouette what you could have done, depending on what kind of object this was, you could, if you really wanted to make stuff not show up very well, try to go along a line that you can to cut this in half. But it doesn't look like it would be all that easy on this one. So let's try another one now. Let's do the this guy right here, the starfish. So I'm going to copy him, and I'm going to paste him onto a new mat. Okay, like that. And now, once again, we're going to go ahead and trace him. And trace and detach. Maybe I'll up the threshold just a tiny. Nope. Trace and detach. Okay, we can get rid of this box. Now we have him. Again, what we want to do is get rid of the little eyeballs so that the person can see through him. Okay, let's see. So I'll come over here and get the circle tool again. Probably scroll in like I said so I can see easily. And just start drawing my circle. And then adjusting it to fit nicely over the white part. Looks pretty good to me. So I'm going to hit Alt and duplicate, or right click and duplicate. And now this one's selected. Hold down my Shift key, select this one. Still holding down my Shift key, select the star. And then come over here to the Modify panel and click Subtract. So as you know, what that's done is it's made it so those holes are cut out or subtracted out. You can see through there now. You can do the same thing if you'd like to, again, with these little holes right here. Just draw a circle. Hold down your Shift, not your Shift, your Alt key. Drag one over here. If you need to adjust it with your arrow keys up and down, you can do that. That one is selected. Hold down your Shift key, select this one. Hold down the Shift still, select the star. Come to the Modify panel if it's not open, and say Subtract. And now those have been cut out. Well, I don't know if you can see or not, but this is too big also for Cricut Design Space. And actually, let's see, it might be too big for Silhouette. Let's check. Let's turn on the registration marks. And let's see if we can rotate him to fit within those lines. Sure can easily. Yeah. Okay, so he's not too big for Silhouette. So all I would do is go ahead and print him with the registration marks there, and then come over here to send and just cut him out. But again, for Cricket, you'll have to do something to cut him in half. And if you want to, you could do that right here by doing this. Get the knife tool, come right up here and start above the star. Hold down the shift key if you want to make a straight line, but I don't care. I'm just going to go like this so I can get it where I want it to be. And cut like that. So then I'll have two pieces just like this. And I'm not crazy about where I cut that because see that little pointy thing? So I'm going to hit Control Z to undo that. And try my knife tool again. This time what I'm going to do is I've clicked on the knife tool. I'm going to uncheck Auto Apply because that's going to give me some time to mess around with how I put my knife tool on here to make sure it's exactly where I want it to be. So that looks pretty good there, but what the heck? I started it. Hey. Oopsie. Let's drag that up. All right, now see, this is off here. So now since it's not already applied, I can move the knife tool over. So it's not going to leave that crazy jagged line there, but it still looks kind of weird up here because I want half the black to go. Okay, let's see. Okay, that may be the best that I can do. So I can apply this now, and it's going to cut it right like that and like that. So we'll have two pieces to go over to Cricut Design Space for print and cut, and you'll just have to tape these together over there. But again, I would just go grab them both, select them both, go File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive. I'll name it Starfish, and I'm going to save it as a JPEG again for my Cricut. Leave all these numbers as they are. Open up Cricut. I'll just go to Upload, Upload an image, Browse. There's the starfish. He's coming in two pieces, which is perfect. Complex, Continue. Again, get this tool up here, the Select and Erase, and just begin erasing these pieces that we don't, or that we want to cut out or cut away. Let's see. Okay. So then we would just say Continue, Save, there it is, insert it, and it should come in just fine, each one of these pieces. Oh, but see what I have to do now, right now? Since I brought them in like that, I still have to slice them apart because they're grouped together, but not really grouped. So I need to come over to the Shapes tool and get a square. Unlock it, make it a lot bigger, rotate it, make it bigger yet. Okay, that's going to fit. And now I can select both of these two things, so just two things are selected. Hit Slice, get rid of this piece, delete on my keyboard, get rid of this, delete. And now these two pieces will work also. So we have the star one side of him, the other side of him, the fish, and the fish. Okay, so that's good. Let's go back now to Silhouette and start working on another thing. That was the masks. I can X this out. No. I can X these out because we're done with those for now. This is the one I'm done with as well. No. Okay, here are the stickers. Remember which ones I told you, which sticker papers to use. They're linked below in my Amazon account or Amazon store. The white sticker paper from Silhouette or the printable vinyl from Cricut. Do not get the sticker paper from Cricut. Okay, so I can get rid of this guy. All right, so now we're going to make some stickers. And this one here says simply cut the images out and stick them onto a pebble or a stone and use liquid glue or something like that, or Mod Podge to be able to put them onto a pebble. But we're just going to make stickers. So to make stickers, I'm just going to go ahead and select the trace area, which is this. And I'm just going to up the threshold a bit. Okay. And say trace and detach because I want to print them. Now I can get rid of this, delete it. And if I bring these guys over here, not sure why my mat's sideways, you can see that they look beautiful just like that, right? However, the beauty of using Silhouette for your Silhouette machine or your Cameo is that you can add beautiful offsets to these to make your stickers look really professional. Easy peasy, just like this. Come to the offset tool, looks like a star. Just say offset. You can change the size of the offset. You may not want it this big since these are little tiny stickers by using this thing right here. I'm going to leave it just as it is for now. I'm going to come up here and change the color of my offset to white. Look at that. And I can leave them just like this for Silhouette, but for Cricut Design Space, I'm going to go ahead and change the line color around the stickers to a gray, to about the third or fourth gray color in here. Right there. Okay. So now all I have to do, I'm going to group these. I'll bring them back over here. Let's go to my page setup. I'm going to change it to 12 by 12. My cutting mat should be 12 by 12. And I want to turn on my registration marks on. Okay. And I'm going to also come back here and turn on my cut border because I want to make sure that none of my stickers are going outside of my cut border. So I'm looking very closely at the offsets on the stickers and they look pretty good. All right, but here's the thing. I don't have a piece of sticker paper this big. My sticker paper is 8.5 by 11. So I do have to change my media size to letter size, 8.5 by 11. So now they're not all going to fit like that, but no problem. I can just simply ungroup. And then these guys aren't grouped together. The offset with the fish, if you'll notice, see that? So I have to group this. And I should just come through here and group all these. So all I'm doing is grabbing both and hitting Control G on my keyboard. If you don't like doing that, you can grab these two, right click and say group. Grab these two, right click and say group. Grab these, right click and group. I think, yeah. Oh, no, I didn't group him yet. Grab these two, right click and group. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I think I'm going to change my orientation of my media. I want it like that. I don't like it sideways. So I'm going to just make a bunch more of these. I'm going to hold down my Alt key and make another one of him. Hold down my Alt to make another one of him. Or I could right click and say duplicate to make another one. Right click and duplicate. And I'm just going to see if I can put two of each of these on this mat. They may not fit. All right, so now we have all of these. So now when uh-oh, looky here, this guy, uh-oh, he wasn't grouped. So where's his duplicate? Oh, I didn't make a duplicate of him yet. Alt and duplicate. Okay. All right, we have all of these. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select all these guys, and I'm going to come way over here to this. This only will work for you if you have a Silhouette. I'm going to go to the nesting panel, and I'm saying use the cut area, only the shapes on the media, and I'm going to say nest. And look at that. It puts them on there really easily so that you can have at least two of them. So as a matter of fact, I could probably even add another one of these guys down here. He'll fit, I think. Maybe, maybe not. Got to make sure their offsets aren't touching. But you know what I can do? I can twirl him like that, and then he'll fit pretty easily. Okay. So now the next thing I would do is I would just print this, and then I would go over here to send. Notice here, it's going to cut, the red line show where it's cutting. It's cutting inside the fish, and then on the outside of the fish is offset. I don't want that. Got to grab everything and say cut edge. Then all it's going to do is cut out the edge and make beautiful stickers for us. Of course, I would change this from heavy cardstock to my sticker paper. So probably under sticker paper white. And before I would do any of these, I would do a test, because I don't want to ruin my whole sheet of sticker paper and have it not work right. So I would do a test. It would do a test on my machine in the upper left-hand corner, would spit the page out, and I could check it to see if it did like a kiss cut, exactly what I wanted. I do notice there's a little bit of a problem right here. Look at these. Okay, so I'm going to go back. Do you notice what I'm talking about? These, there's not going to be a cut there. I'm going to have to cut that apart and that too, and I don't want that. So I'm going to go back to design, and I'm going to grab these guys again and come down here again to the page nesting. I'm going to say padding of 2. That's how much space it leaves in between them. And I'll say nest, and we'll see. All right, now that might work. Let's go send. Okay, now it looks like it's going to work. I don't see any that are that don't have a full red line around them. So then I would just send this to my cutting machine after I printed it, and I'd be ready to go. Now let's go back over here and let's see what we'd have to do for design space. Once again, remember we have that piece that's available to us, and I'll make a square, and that square is, oops, not that. Let's see, 9.25 tall by 6.75 wide. Whoops. I usually forget to put the decimal in there. 6.75. Enter. All right, still not cooperating. 6.75. Enter. Okay, that's how much space we have. So now all I would do is start moving these, send this to the back. And I don't know if this would work or not if I was to just put a bunch of these on here. And I wonder if I could bring this on top. Let's check it out for a sec. Have I got everybody at least once? Yeah. All right, let's see if I get these off of here. And what if I bring this over here? Okay, here's what I can do, y'all. This is something I never just crossed my mind now. On my page setup panel, you know how we have the media size here and I have letter? I can change that media size to custom. Why not change it to the custom width and height that we have over in Cricut Design Space? So we know the width that we have is 6.75, enter, and we know the height that we have is 9.25, enter. Okay, and now why don't I just bring these guys over here and see if we can go ahead and do this with the nesting. Okay, so it didn't work perfectly, so they're probably not all going to fit on there. But now if I just use those, I probably can get it to nest. Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to grab these, select these, group them. While they're still selected, I'm going to go to File, Save Selection, Save to Hard Drive, Stickers. And I'll save it as a JPEG for Cricut. Say OK. Save. Let's open up Cricut. Let's go to New, Replace, Upload. Upload an image, Browse. Got to look for the rainbow fish stickers. OK. Complex. Continue. Okay, so I should have turned off the since, like I said, I've never done this before. So see these registration marks that are staying on there we don't want. So let's go back over into Silhouette for a sec. And once we get this all done and arranged, I think that we should probably go ahead and turn off the registration marks. Show the cut lines, registration marks off. And now let's do this. Grab them all, File, Save Selection, save it to the hard drive. I'm going to save it as the same thing, so it's going to ask if I want to overwrite it, and I do. Okay. Yes. Save. So now we're going to bring this one in and see if it looks better for us. Let's go to Cricut. Because I don't want it with this, right? So let's cancel that or go back. Let's cancel. So we're going to go Upload, Upload an image, Browse. Now this one should work well without those marks. Yep. Complex. Continue. And now look what happened. We lost some of our white. So let's go back and go to Complex. Continue. Now this is something I've been teaching a lot of. You want to go to Advanced Options if you have an issue like this. Change this by starting with the number 8. Just willy-nilly, I start with 8. And does that leave what we want? Do they all have an offset? Yes, they certainly do. Looking beautiful. Say we would continue. Here we go, that. Continue. We'd insert this. And look, they're going to come in beautifully as print and cut stickers. And you're wondering, is the offset still there? Yes, and you can tell that by coming down here to where it says blank canvas. Once you click on that, nothing happens, but there's this little color swatch up here. Click on that, change the background to a different color, and you can see what beautiful offsets you're going to have on your stickers now. Isn't that cool? I love it. All right, let's go back to Silhouette one more time. We have one more thing to do, and it's just the same pretty much. So these are the pieces that come in as for popsicle puppets, right? And let's show my cutting mat. Okay, so you can get an idea how big these are. So all you'll do with these is the same thing that we have been doing. You'll just come over here to offset, select, or the trace area, select the trace, and trace and detach. Get rid of this box. So you have these fish, 1, 2, 3. And what you can do right now, if you'd like to, I'll do 2 different things right this minute. I'm going to go ahead and grab all 3 of these and offset them. I'll leave the offset at the default. I'll change the color of the offset to white. I'll change the line color to that 3rd or 4th gray over. Then I'm going to go through and click each one of these and group them. I can right click and group because I want to group the offset with the colored image, just like that. Okay, once I've done that, let's imagine that I want to make my puppets double-sided. Okay, so all you have to do now is take these and grab them and then right click and say, no, not right click on this one. We're going to grab them. We're going to come over here to this thing. It looks like a flying cigar to me. It's called the replicate panel. The replicate panel. Click on that. We have these 3. We want to put some on the back so the popsicle stick is kind of encapsulated in between, like you're making a cake topper or something like that. So what you would do if you want to do all 3 of these at once, just grab them all, come over here to the replicate panel. Looks like a flying cigar to me, I don't know. And then come up here to where it says mirror. It says replicate, and then it says mirror. Mirror to the right. And you see how we have mirrored images. So when I put this one behind here, they'll be glued together perfectly with a popsicle stick in between for the puppet show. And again, for Cricut Design Space, you'll just take these over there and they'll print and cut perfectly. You'll take them over as JPEGs. For your Cameo, all you have to do is, depending on what size you have, you're going to print these first. Let's just have one of each for the heck of it. Put on your registration marks, coming up here to the page setup panel, registration marks on. You could change your media size if you're using the smaller 8.5 by 11 letter size paper, and change it back like that. Make sure they fit inside of the red line, which you can't see right now. So how do you find that? Go back to this first page. It says show cut border. Now let's scroll in and let's see how we're doing. We're not doing very well. This guy's hanging out the edge. He's okay now though. But they're touching there, so I don't want that to happen. Okay, that looks pretty darn good. Okay, so that's it. I would just go ahead and after I've printed these, I would come up here to send. Again, it's doing the outside and the inside. I don't want that. I don't want just a skinny little offset cut off by itself. So I grab both things, say cut edge, and there it is. It's just going to cut around those beautifully. So that's it. I hope you're beginning to see how much benefit you could get from this software for your Cricut machine and how wonderful it is just to use it with our Cameo machines. I love this software. There's a link for it for you down below. I appreciate it when you use my link. I do get a teeny tiny commission, but anyway. So if you like my videos, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe and hit the little bell so you're notified when I have some new videos. And make sure that you have your kids, or if you know a little neighbor kid or somebody, to watch the video that I'm doing where I read aloud to kids. Thanks for coming. See you guys again soon. Bye.